Hello, everyone. Welcome to CNN Today, the most trusted journalism in your language. I'm Bianna Golodriga. We tell you today's major global stories in about 5 minutes. It's Thursday, July 25th. Here is your CNN. A new CNN poll shows former President Donald Trump leading Vice President Kamala Harris within the margin of error. The poll also finds that most voters support President Biden's decision to exit the White House race. Jeff Zeleny explains.
This is within the margin of error, so we call that too close to call. This is not a sense where Donald Trump is leading in any way or Kamala Harris is leading. But what this really shows is this is indeed going to be an entirely different race. When you look below the numbers, beneath the numbers there are some changes for Vice President Harris, and there is certainly a new sense of optimism and energy. We've seen that in fundraising. But when you look a little bit deeper into this new poll, let's take a look at the feelings of registered voters when asked about Biden's decision to end this campaign. Look at these numbers. 58% say they were relieved, 37% say hopeful, surprised 28%, worried 20%, and disappointed only 13%. So that really underscores really the Democratic mood going into this decision and how President Biden was increasingly alone on an island there when 6 in 10 voters say they were relieved about his decision to step aside. But the Democratic enthusiasm has really changed dramatically, at least in the short term, in the last 48 hours. But when you take a look at these numbers in the poll as well, Democratic leaning voters, does Harris have a good chance to beat Donald Trump? 75% say yes. Only 25% say no. So what Democrats look at these numbers as a sign of hope, a sign of optimism. That is one of the reasons you're seeing more volunteers come in, more money being sent in.
Kamala Harris held the first rally of her presidential campaign in the swing state of Wisconsin. She strongly criticized Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. Kayla Tausche reports.
Good afternoon, Wisconsin!
Vice President Kamala Harris taking the reins of President Biden's campaign.
The baton is in our hands.
Her first rally as the presumptive Democratic nominee in battleground Wisconsin.
The path to the White House goes through Wisconsin,
where she put a new twist on a familiar message.
This campaign is also about two different visions for our nation. One, where we are focused on the future. The other, focused on the past.
And a familiar foe.
We'll stop Donald Trump's extreme abortion bans.
In just 2 days since President Biden tapped Harris to replace him on the ticket, Harris has rallied the party at breakneck speed, raking in more than $100 million from mostly new donors, recruiting 58,000 new volunteers across the country, and racking up critical endorsements from her former staff, foreign policy experts, and prominent leaders of the party.
A powerful typhoon striking Taiwan with strong winds and heavy rain, and it's heading towards China, a country that has already experienced major natural disasters this summer. Mark Stewart has the details.
A frantic rescue in central China. An emergency worker clings on to this woman as she's hoisted into a boat. She points to her grandparents, still trapped in the fast-moving floodwater. Further south, another scene of desperation as elderly people are carried to safety after a deadly flash flood hits their village. In another province, this is what's left of a water-ravaged bridge, submerging at least 25 cars, claiming more than a dozen lives. Scenes of devastation like this water-covered home as government scientists warn China is sensitive to climate change. Recent disasters have cost the world's second-largest economy more than $10 billion in economic losses in the first half of the year. Over 32 million people have been impacted, according to government data. As muddy water rages across the landscape, China, a country working on a green energy future, faces the immediate challenge of extreme weather.
Thank you so much for watching CNN Today, the most trusted journalism in your language. We'll see you tomorrow.